I need water. Help me. I need water. Help.
Oh, you thought Jeff Bezos was just chilling in space, huh? Well, buckle up, America, because the Amazon founder just threw a major curveball at Donald Trump. That has the White House absolutely fuming. That's right, folks. Bezos is finally hitting. Back where it hurts most, tariffs, forget the rockets. This move is out of this world. What's Bezos up to now? Is he trying to make Trump's tax policies look like a preschool math problem? You better believe it. The bombshell dropped earlier today, when reports surfaced that Amazon was planning to display a little number next to the price of each product showing exactly how much Trump's tariffs are adding to the cost. Talk about a truth bomb. This isn't just business anymore, folks. This is personal. The White House response? Total meltdown. They scrambled to hold an emergency press conference faster than you can say tax hike, with economic advisor Caroline Light practically hyperventilating as she called it a hostile and political act. But let's be real, they're not mad about the policy, they're terrified of the truth. Let's get something straight right out of the gate. Jeff Bezos doesn't need to sell you a book. He's done that, and he's moved on to much bigger things like, I don't know, throwing shade at Donald Trump in a way that even Elon Musk is side-eyeing from his rocket ship. Yeah, that's right. Bezos, the guy who made online shopping addictive and created a delivery empire, just decided to step into the ring and fight Trump's disastrous tariffs. But this isn't just some meaningless corporate spat. Bezos is taking the gloves off. And let's be honest, watching Bezos go head-to-head with Trump is like watching a chess grandmaster against someone who thinks checkers is a strategic game. The billionaire space explorer versus the former reality TV star. A battle of brains that barely qualifies as a fair fight. White House officials tried desperately to deflect, with one spokesperson actually suggesting that there's a role for significant tariff revenue in U.S. fiscal policy with a straight face. I mean, come on. They're basically admitting they're using tariffs as a giant tax hike on everyday Americans, while pretending it's some brilliant economic strategy. It's like watching someone try to explain why setting your money on fire is actually a smart investment plan. Now, before we get all tangled up in Bezos' tariff brawl with the orange one, let's talk about Pam Bondi, folks, because nothing screams serious political maneuvering like Pam Bondi, former Florida Attorney General and Trump's personal cheerleader from the sidelines. Seriously, Pam Bondi's qualifications for anything political are at best confusing and at worst downright comical. There she is, always popping up whenever Trump needs to act like the latest scandal is someone else's fault. You'd think with all that experience in excusing shady dealings, Bondi could at least pretend to know what a tariff is. But no, she's still stuck on trying to explain why her whole career seems to hinge on the phrase, "But Trump said it's fine." In her desperate defense of the indefensible, Bondi rambled. What President Trump is referring to is the ability for tariff revenue to give income tax relief. And I think there's a very good chance that we will see this in the upcoming tax bill. Seriously, this is the best they've got. Taking money from your right pocket, calling it a tariff, putting it in your left pocket, and calling it a tax cut. Even a 5-year-old can see through that math. I mean, how does this even work? Does Trump have people on payroll whose only job is to deflect blame faster than a malfunctioning Roomba in a glass factory? Is there a loyalty over logic bonus built into their contracts? Maybe he's auditioning his entire team for the next season of The Apprentice, Gaslight Edition, because they sure aren't acting like actual professionals. When confronted with economic data showing manufacturing in free fall, another Trump official actually said, "I was in the investment business 35 years and I learned to ignore the survey data." Ignore the data? That's their strategy? This is like a doctor saying, "I've been practicing medicine for 35 years, and I've learned to ignore the symptoms. The economy is bleeding out." And they're prescribing band-aids and positive thinking. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos has decided to go full challenger mode on Trump and his taxes. And the funny part is while Trump's over there fighting imaginary wars and whining about tariffs, he's actually stuck with. Bezos is out here looking like a man who's got real power moves. The tariffs, the taxes, all that chaos, Jeff Bezos doesn't just stand by. He's like, "Ooh, you want to mess with trade? Watch me." Now, let's address the elephant in the room. People are over IT, and buy it. I mean the never-ending game of Monopoly Trump seems to want to play with the rest of the country's economy. Tariffs, please. Everyone's tired. You know it. I know it. And the economy certainly knows it. Americans? Tired. Businesses? Tired. Farmers? Oh, they're exhausted. You think anyone's walking around with a smile on their face, ready to hand over their life savings for some imported steel that was made expensive just to make a point? I mean, the whole tariff situation could be the most boring way to screw over the average American. And yet, here we are. But here's the kicker. Jeff Bezos, billionaire number 2, behind Musk in the race for the richest man in the world, has absolutely no interest in being boring. No. Bezos has decided that if anyone's going to break this cycle, it's going to be him. Like, if anyone can slap tariffs in Trump's face and send a message, it's going to be the guy who controls a massive chunk of online retail and shipping. Bezos is in the perfect position to say, you want tariffs, you want to tax the hell out of everything and everyone? I'm going to make it rain with some Amazon deliveries that you can't even understand. Picture it. Bezos sitting on top of a pile of cash while he casually gives Trump the finger and says, yeah, your tariffs are cute, but let's see how your economy feels when I mess with your supply chain. I mean, who else is in a better position than Bezos to screw with Trump's plans? When you're Jeff Bezos, you've already got people scrambling for their next day deliveries, which makes you a serious force in the economy. You want to make America great again. Try making it not broke first. While White House officials drone on about the golden age of America being underway, they conveniently ignored the fact that their policies are making everything from baby formula to bicycles more expensive for everyday Americans. One official actually had the nerve to claim there's a lot of reason for the American consumer, the American CEO, the American small business owner to be confident and optimistic. Seriously? Have they checked the price of literally anything lately? But of course, while Bezos is stepping into this political ring, Trump's response is predictably to throw tantrums and point fingers at anyone he can, except himself, of course. When things go south, Trump's specialty is pulling a Pocahontas move, throwing out accusations like a 5-year-old throwing blocks in a tantrum. But here's the problem. Bezos doesn't need to play Trump's game. Trump's over here throwing a fit about tariffs while Bezos just watches from his Amazon cloud, probably wondering if he should add politician to his resume. And what does this mean for Trump? The tariffs, the joke, the economy, it's getting slapped by Bezos. The only thing Trump's accomplishing is making sure that his supporters are either angry at him or confused. So, what does Bezos do next? He continues to make moves, and not just moves, power moves, every time Bezos delivers something. Every time an Amazon Prime box arrives on your doorstep. It's a reminder that the man behind all of this might just have enough influence to put Trump in check. Now, let's talk about the fact that Amazon is a true behemoth. The kind of company that doesn't even need to try to beat Trump. It's already done it. You think Jeff Bezos is out here making shipping decisions based on what Trump thinks? No. Bezos is probably sending out his packages with a little extra wink-wink to the economy. As tariffs get more ridiculous, Bezos can make people pay even more for basic goods. But it's also a message. If you want to play politics with the economy, watch me work. I'll make sure that everything costs more, and you won't even know it. When the news broke that Amazon was considering showing tariff charges on all products, the White House absolutely went nuclear on Jeff Bezos and the entire company. I mean, Caroline Light literally called Jeff Bezos a Chinese propagandist and said this is hostile and political. Talk about losing IT. They're so terrified of transparency that they're throwing around accusations that would make McCarthy blush. So, while Trump continues to stomp around like an angry toddler in a sandcastle, Bezos is out here sending not-so-subtle signals. Tariffs? No. Trump's idea of global trade is about as outdated as the phone he used in those 80s ads. Bezos' idea? Innovation, market control, real influence, and the best part, he's not just rich. He's rich in ways that actually matter, like being able to dictate where you buy your goods, when you buy them, and how much you're willing to pay for them. Let's not forget the golden punchline here. The real question is what happens when Bezos and Musk get together on this, like the next time Musk is all let's go to Mars. Bezos is probably in his ear going, yeah, but let's get our tariffs sorted before we take off. These two are racing for the title of richest man in the world. And it's clear that when they're not trying to colonize planets, they're both quietly reminding Trump that they run the world, or at least the global economy. When pressed about negotiations with China, a senior Trump official awkwardly dodged, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty again of who's talking to whom, but as I said, I believe for the Chinese, these tariffs are unsustainable. Unsustainable? The only thing that's unsustainable is this administration's relationship with economic reality. Jeff Bezos is not just playing the game, he's setting them. Rules, tariffs, please. Trump is way out of his depth, and Bezos knows it. The message here is clear. If you want to mess with the big boys, you better be ready for a fight. And Bezos, he's already in the ring, warmed up, and throwing punches while Trump is still trying to find his gloves. But here's the funny part. Trump's so wrapped up in his super secret trade war that he's literally driving industries into the ground. Not only is he looking for reasons to slap taxes on goods that people need to survive, hello, soybeans and steel, but his so-called deals are costing American farmers, businesses, and consumers billions. And what's his answer? Keep going. That's right, the guy's got nitrogen monoxide planned out. The only thing Trump can offer at this point is more big Beautiful tariffs, which are about as effective as using a rubber band to stop a freight train. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos is sitting there, probably sipping a coffee and watching it all unfold, knowing full well he has already won. He's like that guy at the poker table who's holding a royal flush, while everyone else is trying to bluff with their pennies. When reporters try to get clarity on whether the administration is actually talking to Beijing about tariffs, officials stumbled. Well, we're not going to talk about who's talking to whom. Translation: we're not talking to anyone, but we don't want to admit it. It's diplomatic speak for we have no idea what we're doing. And while Trump is out there making himself the face of economic chaos, Bezos is running the show from behind the scenes. You've got to hand it to him, though. Bezos is playing the long game, and he's doing it in style. He doesn't even need to break a sweat to make the world bend to his will, while Trump is out here trying to get the media to pay attention to his latest tariff screw-up. Bezos is casually positioning Amazon to become the most powerful entity in global trade. I mean, we're talking about a guy whose company is already a force to be reckoned with. Want an example? How about Amazon Prime Day? The entire economy practically shuts down for it. No one even questions whether they should buy yet another thing. They don't need because Bezos has already conditioned us to shop until our bank accounts scream. Meanwhile, Trump's tariffs are just this awkward, cringy mess that no one really knows how to deal with. Sure, the trade war is supposed to hurt China, but the only thing it's really hurting is the American public. Businesses are struggling. Manufacturers are pulling out of the US, and farmers are crying into their cornfields because they can't sell their crops for a profit. But hey, at least Trump's getting his 15 minutes of fame. Too bad those minutes are spent not fixing anything. 1. Trump official actually claimed that Chinese could lose 10 million jobs very quickly because of the tariffs. But who's counting the American jobs lost? The small businesses closed, the farms foreclosed. Apparently, those don't make it into the administration's fancy calculations. But Bezos doesn't need to fix anything because he already owns the game. By the time Trump realizes that tariffs are about as effective as slapping a band-aid on a bullet wound, Bezos will have already cornered the market on anything you could possibly want. He's made it so you can't even escape him. Go ahead, try to buy something that's not on Amazon. I dare you. I mean, it's 2025, and people are literally subscribing to Amazon for everything. You can get your groceries, your gadgets, your diapers, your toilet paper, and your life all delivered by Bezos' army of drones in a matter of hours. It's like the man has built an empire where he's simultaneously the king and the god of delivery. And let's talk about the logistics of this thing for a minute. Trump couldn't even organize a paper bag if his life depended on it. But Bezos is a delivery system that operates 24/7, 365 days a year across multiple continents with the kind of precision that would make a Swiss watch jealous. Want a new TV? Amazon's got you. Need a new set of golf clubs? Amazon's got you. Looking for a random, obscure book that no one else has heard of? Guess what? Amazon's got it. And the best part, you don't even have to leave your house. Meanwhile, Trump's over here racking up tariffs and really hoping the American people don't notice that their lives are getting more expensive because of his policies. When the news broke about Amazon's potential tariff display, Trump reportedly called Bezos immediately and, well, I don't think I can repeat on air what Trump probably said, but you can imagine it wasn't pleasant. Caroline Light came out swinging that morning and declared it would be a hostile political act if Amazon went through with the plan. And guess what? Amazon quickly backpedaled. No, we would never dream of such a thing. They shut down the story before it could spread like wildfire across the media landscape. Oh my gosh, Amazon, the tariffs, blah blah blah. Amazon doesn't play games. They go right after it and don't allow these things to remain unaddressed. But Bezos has figured it out, you see. While Trump's attention span is shorter than a TikTok video, Bezos is busy making billions by improving the customer experience. Yeah, that's right. People are flocking to Amazon because it's easy, it's fast, and let's face it, it's impossible to escape. So, while Trump's out here on the warpath waging his tariff war on China and creating political chaos, Bezos is slowly taking over everything, and he's doing it with a smile and a Prime subscription. So, what's the takeaway here? Jeff Bezos is a true challenger to Trump in ways that Trump never even saw coming. Forget about power suits and boardroom meetings. Bezos is making waves in the most quiet and efficient way possible with a business model that's rapidly eclipsing Trump's old-school ways of doing things. Tariffs, they're yesterday's problem. Bezos, he's running the future of global trade. And if Trump keeps up with his antics, he'll be nothing more than a relic in the history books of business and politics. In this battle of the richest men, Bezos is playing for keeps, and Trump, well, he's still stuck trying to figure out how to build a wall out of tariffs. Good luck with that, Donald. Let's get real for a second. while Trump is busy slapping tariffs on everything from Chinese electronics to European cheeses. Bezos is reinventing how the entire world shops. One is fighting yesterday's economic battles with yesterday's tools, the other is inventing the economy of tomorrow. And the ultimate irony? Trump's policies might actually be helping Amazon in the long run, as small retailers struggle under the weight of higher import costs and supply chain disruptions. More of them are turning to Amazon's marketplace just to survive. It's like Trump is inadvertently crowning Bezos as the king of American retail, while trying to appear tough on trade. The White House can hold all the emergency press conferences they want, but they can't change one simple fact: the American consumer isn't stupid. When prices go up because of tariffs, people notice, and they're not blaming China. They're blaming the policy that made their shopping carts more expensive. What Bezos understands, and Trump clearly doesn't, is that in today's economy, the power lies with whoever controls the flow of goods and information. And guess who's sitting at the intersection of both? Not the guy in the White House, that's for sure. Trump officials can brag about the golden age of America all they want, but most Americans are more concerned about the golden price tags showing up on formerly affordable products. Someone in the administration actually claimed they're making America the best country in the world to do business, while simultaneously making it more expensive to do business here than almost anywhere else. The cognitive dissonance is astounding. Meanwhile, Bezos doesn't need to make grand pronouncements about making anything great again. He's too busy actually transforming global commerce. While Trump tweets, Bezos builds. While Trump tariffs, Bezos delivers. It's not even a fair fight anymore. It's a complete mismatch. And here's what really has the White House freaking out. Bezos could single-handedly undermine their entire economic narrative with just a few lines of code. That little tariff number next to prices? It would be the most powerful economic education tool Americans have ever seen. Every purchase would become a lesson in failed trade policy. Every Amazon order would be a reminder of who's really paying for those America First talking points. No wonder they reacted with such panic. This isn't just about price transparency, it's about political transparency. And there's nothing politicians fear more than voters who can clearly see cause and effect. In one corner, we have a man who built the most efficient delivery system in human history, revolutionized retail, and is now reaching for the stars. In the other corner, we have a politician who thinks international trade works like a real estate deal from the 1980s. Is it any wonder Bezos has the upper hand? Trump supporters might cheer when he talks tough on China, but they're not cheering when they check out at the register. American farmers might wave flags at rallies, but they're not waving when they're filing for bankruptcy because they can't sell their soybeans. Manufacturing workers might applaud the America First rhetoric, but they're not applauding when their factories close because materials cost too much. And through it all, Bezos just keeps delivering, literally and figuratively, while the administration fumbles from one economic policy disaster to another. Amazon keeps expanding its empire, refining its algorithms, and cementing its place as the indispensable shopping destination for hundreds of millions of people worldwide. The administration claims retailers have managed their inventory in front of this and shouldn't experience supply chain shocks. Well, of course Amazon has managed. They've been preparing for economic disruption since their founding. But what about the thousands of smaller businesses that don't have Amazon's resources? They're the ones taking the real hit while Bezos adapts and thrives. This is the ultimate David and Goliath story, except in this version, Goliath is winning because David keeps shooting himself in the foot. Trump thinks he's fighting China, but he's actually fighting American consumers and businesses while giving tech giants like Amazon even more market dominance.